I think it's good to get an understanding around the word power, because when we refer to power, ultimately a man can be powerful without being abusive.
Yeah, of course.
A man can be powerful without trying to manipulate control.
Yes.
And I think it's really important to highlight that. Otherwise, what we're saying, and this is something I've identified in myself, is that sometimes because how we've grown up, maybe people we've observed, in our society, sometimes we withdraw and hold our power back because we're frightened that power may cause damage to someone, particularly within an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
And this isn't. I don't believe this is healthy, because ultimately everybody should be able to feel empowered. Because that's what we want. We want a thriving society.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes, some women that do feel powerless do get attracted to these men because they perceive that these men are going to protect them.
Right.
That old patriarchal, king of the castle type of thing. But I think, as well as being powerless, I feel that potentially that maybe the woman has experienced some type of abuse prior to her adult life.
Right.
These are things that we've discussed in the book. We've looked at, why is it that some women that there's been victims of abuse within childhood have then become victims of domestic violence in adult life.
Yeah.
So we would have to look at those types of connections as well in order to describe that. But I think it's really important to bring forward the word power, and just to say that there can be a misuse of power, most definitely.
Yes.
But not all men that are powerful are misusing that power.
Yeah, of course, that's right.
Sure.
It's a really good distinction. A really good distinction. And of course, it would be possible for these men that even domestic violence type of men. I've met guys. You can just see they have a lot of anger. It's written all over their faces. They are often very physical type of guys, powerful guys, and they enjoy their physicality. And women can't help but find that attractive. Other men respect these men, so they have that aura. But it would be really nice to think that these same guys, with all of this potential, could use it in a way that was constructive and didn't tip over into that violence, not just to the woman, but also to the family and to other people around them. So they could actually be a congruent, leader, if you like, or a congruent king in their own little world, and really be inspirational to their family, which I'm sure really in their hearts they would love to be, if they didn't kind of get triggered with X, Y, Z going on in their lives and things like that. Does that make any sense, Dan?
Yeah, it does. I guess it comes round, to the question of, is it referring to men being able to manage their anger, if you like, or to manage their rage? I guess if we were to explain it around, many men talk about this exploding. They just they let things build up and then they just explode.
Yeah.
And it's like, what can they do about that? And they're powerful men. We know that that type of man exploding can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Do a lot of damage,
Absolutely.
especially if they're carrying a lot of resentment, anger, frustration, and stuff like that. So I think it's really important to highlight the fact that, rage, anger, these types of explosive, if we was to call them explosive energies, if you like, or emotions, really are not a problem. I think the real problem is trying to control something. So when we talk about controlling behaviours, if we're led to believe as a man that we have to control our behaviours all the time, so we cannot feel these emotions, whether it's rage, whether it's anger, what happens is we start to suppress those emotions.
That's right.
And this is where the danger lies. We know that anything that gets suppressed like a volcano, is going to come up to the surface and it's going to explode at one point.
That's right. That's right.
And what happens more often than not is that men try to control this.
Yes.
They try to control this, to put a bottle on it. However, what is more helpful and what we explain in the book is that what we need to do is to start to learn to experience all of our emotions, to start developing an emotional vocabulary so that we can start to experience that. So, for example, if we become angry, and let's refer to, I don't like the label good or bad, but just for this example, I'll just use this. Let's say a good man that in his household, someone may have explained as a father, he's a disciplinarian.
Right.
He gets angry, he gets his point across, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
Boundaries.
Or boundaries.
Yeah.
He's got boundaries around.
Yeah.
So he's expressing his anger.
Yeah.
Okay. Rage comes up. Someone does something to his child, something happens, and he becomes really angry. Like, it's a volatile rage that comes up. Okay. However, again, there's boundaries around that. He's experiencing it. He's feeling it. He's expressing it. He's not withholding it.
Right.
Okay. The problem is that when the abuser aspect of the man is present, so we're talking about not all men have the abuser aspect.
Right.
When the abuser aspect is present, this is when potentially our anger is utilised because someone has said, so say for example our wife or partner has said some words or criticised us.
Yeah.
Then what we do is we've become verbally abusive because we've been hurt.
Yeah.
And the abuser aspect comes out. Or in rage, it goes too far and we become physically violent.
Yeah.
Because, someone's done it to us, we're going to do it to them.
Yeah, right.
That's unhealthy.
Right.
That's unhealthy. Again, and that's because we're not working on that emotional vocabulary. We're working on controlling all the time. Controlling.
Yeah.
Our behaviours are controlling. We're controlling our emotions.
Yeah.
Again, this is very unhealthy.
Yeah, right. So some of these men then, they don't know how to express their emotions in a healthy way. What's happening is they're trying to control the unhealthy ones that they know are unhealthy, that maybe get them in trouble, get them arrested potentially, all that kind of thing.
Of course.
So they spend a lot of energy trying to control it themselves, but like a volcano, pushing a plug on a volcano doesn't actually work. But if you did something where you could let the lava out the side, it could be released without a huge explosion, using the volcano scenario.
Yes.
Is that where you're kind of coming from?
Exactly right, Hilton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.